My name's Mark Lyle, and my story's a lot like maybe a lot of other folks. My dad died when I was a kid, and had a great mom that worked a lot of hours to support us, so I learned to be very independent. There's just a feeling when you're out riding a motorcycle that gives you that freedom. When I was 17 years old, I met a young lady, and I noticed something different about her than a lot of the other people that I hung out with. She told me she was a Christian, and I thought, oh no, how did I do this? I had this picture that you had to be perfect, you had to wear a suit and tie. That wasn't for me. Yet I was still attracted to her in more ways than just a physical way. Through her patience and lots of prayers, she led me to the Lord. I felt freedom and peace like I had never felt before. For several years, I was not part of sharing my faith. I think I was just caught up in what I thought was just the Christian life. And you do all the right things, you say all the right things, you dress the right way. That's when Faith Riders came along.
Faith Rider Motorcycle Ministry really isn't about motorcycles. It's really about reaching people for Jesus Christ.
We found that if you give men permission to love God and other people through their passion, it changes their life.
So finally, for the first time in my life, I knew what I needed to do. I simply needed to ask Jesus into my heart. And Romans 10:9 says, if you shall confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus Christ and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you shall be saved.
Faith Riders from across the country come together. We train them in how to share their personal story about what God has done in their life, and people will come underneath our booth. We're supposed to share the gospel with them in 3 minutes. In exchange, we do a giveaway, and that literally is going on all over the country.
Whether it's Sturgis or Bikes, Blues and Barbecue or Daytona Beach, Florida, when they go and they have an opportunity to see 7, 8, 10 people pray to receive Christ in one day, that'll change their life.
When people come to these events and they share their testimony and someone prays to receive Christ, they don't stop doing it there. They go back to their church. Faith Riders is really structured to help the local church fulfill the Great Commission. When we start a chapter in a church, it becomes a ministry of that church, and it comes underneath the authority of that senior pastor.
There's something about this ministry that has allowed so many people to really get on board. We got a big job to do. We've got to share that good news. We've got to tell everybody about Christ.